What's going on, guys? Welcome to MDOR. Today we are ditching the factory steering wheel and installing this PRP deep dish 3-inch offset steering wheel on the Can Am. So stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking out this factory steering wheel off of my X3 and installing the PRP deep dish 3-inch offset steering wheel. We're going to measure and go over how much standout on the steering wheel you're going to get and how much closer it's going to move to you after you install the new steering wheel. So there's 3 reasons why I wanted to install an aftermarket steering wheel. The first one is, well, it's plastic covered in rubber. It's not very comfortable. Number 2, it has a cutout on the bottom, which in tight turns and when things get technical, sometimes you end up grabbing the steering wheel lopsided because the bottom portion of the steering wheel is cut. The third reason is I wanted to move the steering wheel closer to myself because I'm 6 foot tall, and when I move my seat all the way back in order to use the pedals normally, I end up reaching for the steering wheel, which is really uncomfortable. Now, there's one big misconception that people always think that if you're a smaller or shorter person, you want the steering wheel closer to you. But when you end up moving your seat forward in order to use your pedals normally, you actually end up bringing the steering wheel closer to you. And it's opposite when you're tall and you move your seat back, your steering wheel ends up being further away from you. So in order to fix this, I ended up getting the 3-inch offset steering wheel, knowing that it's going to bring the steering wheel closer to me. Now, PRP does make a flat steering wheel, meaning that there is no offset, and when you use the adapter hub, it will pretty much keep the steering wheel right where the factory location is. So it really comes down to with what you're comfortable with and what your driving position is. So let's talk about what you're going to need in order to do this. The first thing is first, you need a steering hub adapter. I'm going to be using the one from PRP because it's machined from billet aluminum and it's powder coated in black and has a lifetime warranty. Now, you could also mount your quick release on it, which in my case I'm not going to be using, but more about that in a minute. Then you're also going to need the steering wheel of your choice and some sort of a puller to pull off the factory steering wheel. There's a bunch of different ways of doing that, and we'll go over that. So let's go back to the steering wheel quick release. Why am I not running one? Well, just because I don't find it necessary. I'm fully capable of getting in and getting out of my Can Am with the steering wheel attached, and besides being a cool trend on Instagram with a whole click and ring, quick release actually serves a real purpose. In most race cars with all the safety equipment to protect the driver from impact or intrusions into the car, with the molded bucket seats, it is almost impossible to get out of the seat with the steering wheel attached through the roll cage. Thus, we have quick release steering wheels in case of an emergency. They're able to take the steering wheel off and quickly get out of the vehicle. And since I ride dunes a lot, with sand getting in everywhere, my click and ring would be a grind and jam.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Alright, so let's get to the part where we take off the factory steering wheel. The first thing you're going to need is a flathead screwdriver to take off the center cap for the steering shaft nut. Next, using a wrench, I'm going to go ahead and break it loose and loosen it almost all the way, but don't take that nut all the way off yet, as we're going to keep it in place just to prevent the steering wheel from coming off completely when we're pulling it, so we don't lose the center. The hardest part was actually getting the steering wheel off. Most people say that they could get the steering wheel off by putting their knees into it and wiggling it. Well, that didn't work for me. That thing was tighter than everybody's jeans after quarantine. After chewing up my steering wheel with a 3-prong puller, I ended up making up my own contraption with a fan blade puller and a chain, and it popped off. The steering wheel is loose, so I could pop it back on here for now. So before you remove the steering wheel off the shaft, make sure that it's completely, perfectly center, and then remove the nut and carefully remove the steering wheel. Alright, so the next step is we're going to install the PRP hub, and we're going to line it up so the PRP is on top. making sure that we have the center line, and reinstall the nut. Alright, so to show you a side-by-side comparison between the two steering wheels, you can see that the PRP is slightly larger. It's measuring in at 13-inch diameter. It is made from high-strength aluminum, matte black finish, moisture-resistant suede. Now, it is also available in leather, and you could also choose your color of the center marker. Now, the PRP steering wheel does come with the hardware. You will get a longer and a shorter set. We're going to be using the shorter set, and also be sure to use blue Loctite when you install the screws. Once I have them installed loosely, I will hand tighten them with an Allen wrench, making sure that I don't over tighten them and strip out the threads. So to show you the difference after installing the steering wheel, how much it brought it out, before removing the old steering wheel, it measured out at about 3 inches from the bezel, and then after installing the new steering wheel, it measured in at 5 inches from the bezel, which means that it's actually going to bring my seat back a few inches, taking my knees out of the dash. So believe it or not, I actually had to sand this down because from the factory there was a really sharp plastic edge, and for the way that I was sitting, I took a harder hit and my knee went into the plastic and it actually split it. So after installing the steering wheel, it definitely gave me a more comfortable driving position. Also, keep in mind, if you are going to be installing a quick release on your steering wheel, that's going to bring out your steering wheel another 2 inches or so closer to you. Now, the installation was super easy with the exception of removing the old steering wheel, but let's not ignore the fact that this just makes it look so much more badass. Alright, so now that I got everything figured out, let's take it for a test drive and see how it does. So overall, I'm very happy with the setup. I wish I would have done it sooner. If you guys are looking to replace your steering wheel, check out prpseats.com. They have everything you need for the steering wheel swap, and I will put all the links in the description of the stuff that I used. Also, if you're looking for some off-road seats or harnesses or other off-road accessories, make sure to hit up prpseats.com and you'll find everything that you need to get your rig up to date. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe. It would really help me out. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it, and let me know what you guys think. Also, make sure to check out my Instagram for the latest and greatest, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later.